I don't know how you do all this. Literally, Saturday night you're hosting one charity event. Sunday you're here. Why is it so important for you to make the time in your busy schedule to come to events like this and to support these causes?
I would love for you to meet people who go, I don't have time for that. That would be great. Well, yesterday it was one of my closest friends, Gail Cohen-Braun, who created the F Cancer Gala and Foundation, and she was getting the Vanguard Award and asked me to present it to her. So, when you have amazing friends who do amazing things, you have to, step up for them. And of course, something like this, it's amazing, organization with the United Nations and Girl Up to be able to receive this. It's incredibly humbling, and it was a big surprise as well.
How did you react when you got that call? It's the first one in the word hero. That's such a big word.
Yeah. Well, it was surprising, because usually when you speak out, you're anticipating a negative blowback. It's kind of what happens. But with an award like this, it's just really reassuring to see where we're at in the world right now, that instead of negative consequences, there are people that hear you, that care, and are helping you to make real change in the world.
When you look back at even the past year, the things you've revealed, the things that you've spoken out about, how has that changed you?
Well, I've always spoken out, even privately. My situation came out with Brett Ratner was a bit different than a lot of the other stories came out, because in 2010 I had written a book, and I had written a chapter about it, and I disguised him in it for legal reasons. And then the next year, on his own volition, he claimed himself in that book, and then he went on to lie about me. And then just a few days after that, he went on to the Howard Stern show and admitted that he lied about me, and that was in 2011. And he admitted that he lied about all the things that he said about me, and but still, he's claiming this part of the book that was this horrible thing that he had done. And then just a few years later, he gets this huge, few $100 million financing deal with Warner Brothers. So, back then, it wasn't that long ago, and people just didn't care. He admitted to it, people laughed it off, and they keep going, and he keeps getting bumped up higher and higher into these positions of authority and power. Privately, I would always talk about it, and I would always tell people, and I would even, I'd be in meetings with producers and directors and studio people who I knew worked with them, and I would always ask them, why do you work with him? So I was never quiet, and I've never been really the kind of person that you can silence. That's how I've been my whole life since I was a kid, and that's how I've always been. But this last year, the difference in, in just 7 years, right? Like in 2011, he was able to admit to these things, lie about me, try to defame me, and then keep, getting more powerful. And now, all of a sudden this past year, there's a consequence. And you can't hurt women, you can't disrespect them, you can't keep turning blind eyes and allowing this kind of abuse to go on. And that's just, I still try to figure out, what do I feel about that? Because it's just such a strange place to be, that people care. But instead of trying to figure out why or how I feel about it, I'm just extremely grateful, and I want us to all just keep moving forward.
A long time coming, too long.
Well, yeah, there's a lot of injustices in the world, and this is one of them, and I'm really grateful to all of the women who actually, and men like Anthony Rapp and Terry Crews, but a lot of women like Jessica Barth and Carrie Clausen-Kliege, who all spoke out and were the true silence breakers, the ones who created this entire movement from the beginning. The names that, we don't always hear, they're not household names, but they should be, because they are the real heroes, because it takes a lot to speak out and to name a name and have your name out there with that.
I just admired you so much with everything with Predator, because that was such a big movie, and you saw something that was wrong and you did something about it. Where do things stand with you and the cast? Because I know you'd said you'd felt kind of isolated by them. How are things now?
I'd say, all of the main cast members, we've all had conversations and we've all talked, and, I understand that it's a situation that, I understand for a lot of people, they don't know what to do. For me, it just was very obvious. I think that it's a hard situation. I understand that they were, kind of, they froze. And we've all had those talks, and they're all really good guys. They're not the bad guys in the situation at all. It was important, I think, for people to see and to understand and to hear that, how it all played out. That there was an isolation that was going on, because what happened to me with the isolation and feeling ostracized. I mean, that is literally a drop in the ocean compared to what so many girls go through when they call out somebody. If they're calling out the star quarterback on the team, and now the whole town turns against them, and we hear so many of these stories, and we don't know their names, and they're not headline news everywhere, but they should be, because they know that feeling, and they know at times 1,000. So everything I went through, I'd go through it again.
Very quickly, one piece of advice you'd give to your younger self, because we've got a lot of girls out there today.
My mom used to say that I was, when I was growing up, she'd be like, "You're so stubborn. Why do you always talk back?" And the other day she called me, and she said, "Oh man, it's on the headline news in Hong Kong and Vietnam, and I can't believe it. Everyone's talking about it." And I just have to say, I'm very happy I never told you to shut up. I was like, so.
I love that.
That's what I would tell my younger self. But I'd say
don't shut up.
Don't shut up.
You're losing your voice today, but it's because you're speaking so loudly. So thank you.
Well, thank you.